Allowance might be making your child worse with money. I know, that sounds completely backwards. You've been handing your kid a few dollars every week thinking you're teaching them responsibility. And honestly, you deserve credit for trying. Most parents don't even get that far. But here's the thing nobody talks about. There's a massive difference between a child who receives money and a child who understands how to earn it. And if we confuse those two things, which almost every parenting book does, we might be accidentally teaching our kids the exact opposite of what we intend. Stick with me, because in this video, I'm going to show you exactly why the traditional allowance model falls short, what the research actually says about kids and money, and most importantly, a practical framework you can start using this week that teaches children the mindset of financial responsibility, not just the habit of spending it. And I'll also share a story near the end of this video about a 9-year-old who turned a $3 investment into $47 in one weekend, and what that moment taught her parents more than 10 years of allowance ever had. You won't want to miss that. But first, real quick, drop a comment right now. Do you give your child allowance, just yes or no? No judgment either way. I genuinely want to know, and your answer is going to make a lot more sense by the end of this video. All right, let's get into it. Here's the scene. It's Sunday evening. You hand your 8-year-old $5. She smiles, says thanks, and by Monday afternoon, it's gone on candy and a cheap toy from the dollar store. Sound familiar? Now, you could take that story and say, see, she needs to learn budgeting. And you'd be right. But here's the question almost no one asks. What did she actually learn in that transaction? She learned that money appears on a schedule. She learned that it comes from you, not from effort, not from value, not from solving a problem. She learned that Sunday means dollars, and dollars means stuff. And here's why that's a problem. Because the real world, the world she's going to enter in 10 or 15 years, does not work that way at all. In the real world, money is the result of value creation. You solve a problem for someone, you help someone achieve a goal, you provide a service they need, and money flows in exchange for that. This is true whether you're a plumber, a software engineer, a teacher, or an entrepreneur. According to research published in the Journal of Family and Economic Issues, children who receive unconditional allowances actually show lower levels of financial motivation later in adolescence compared to kids who earned money through work. Think of financial education as existing on a spectrum. On one end, you have passive receiving. That's when money comes to you regardless of your actions. Allowance, gifts, entitlements. The child in this model learns to manage money, but never learns to generate it. On the other end, you have active value creation. That's when money is the result of effort, creativity, and solving a real problem for a real person. This is where entrepreneurship lives. This is where confidence with money is actually born. Budgeting is important, but if your child only ever learns to manage money they didn't earn, they develop a fundamentally dependent relationship with money. The child who learns to create value develops a completely different belief system. First, what allowance does teach? Basic money management, they practice making choices, delayed gratification. If you've paired allowance with a savings goal, and ownership, having my money versus mom's money, great, let's keep those. Now, what allowance almost never teaches? First, how to earn. Second, how value exchange works. Every dollar represents a trade, someone's time, skill, or solution. Third, resilience and problem solving with money. Part 1, earn. Create real earning opportunities. Instead of, or alongside, a base allowance, give your child specific opportunities to earn extra money by creating real value. Chores are responsibilities of being part of a family. Chores are not the same as earning. Earning opportunities are above and beyond, like washing the car or weeding the garden. When a child does a task and receives money for it, they are experiencing the most fundamental financial education possible. Effort creates value, value creates money. That's the entire economic system in one moment. Part 2, own. Let them experience real financial decisions. This is where allowance actually earns its place. Once they have money, step back and let them own their decisions fully. This is the part most parents get wrong. When your child makes a bad financial decision, blows their money on something useless, every instinct says, bail them out. Don't. That regret is the lesson. That it's gone feeling is powerful. You can be warm and supportive. Ask, that stinks, I know. What would you do differently next time? That one question builds financial reflection, a skill most adults still don't have. Part 3, grow. Introduce the concept of money working for them. This doesn't have to be complex, but at some point, and you can start earlier than you think, kids should understand that money can be put to work. The simplest version, a parent-run bank. You pay interest on savings. If you leave $10 in the family bank for a month, I'll add 50 cents. That's a 5% monthly interest rate, and it teaches compounding through experience. And this leads me to the story I promised you. A woman named Diane told me about her daughter, Mia, 9 years old. Diane had been giving Mia a weekly allowance, but she had no concept of earning or growing money. It just appeared. One Saturday, Diane said, "Mia, I'll give you $3 as a budget. What could you make or do with that someone else might pay for?" Mia thought about it, went to the dollar store and bought 3 small picture frames. She painted them and set up a stand with a sign, "Mia's Art Frames, $5 each." After selling the first 3, she reinvested her profit. By Sunday evening, she had $47, starting from a $3 budget. But here's the most important part. Mia sat at the kitchen table that evening and said, "Mom, I think I want to save some, spend some, and use some to buy more frames next week." She reinvented the framework because she lived it. That is the difference between handing a child money and teaching them to generate value. Now let's bring this all together into an action plan you can use this week. No fluff. Step 1, keep the allowance if you want, but split it. Give a smaller base that's unconditional, and then create a clear earning menu posted on the fridge. Real tasks, real pay. Effort makes income expandable. Step 2, create a 3-jar system. Label them, spend, save, and grow. Every time money comes in, earned or gifted, split it across the 3 jars. The grow jar is where the magic conversation begins. Step 3, let failure happen and ask one question. When they make a spending decision they regret, resist the reflex to rescue them. Ask, what would you do differently? Repeat it over years, it builds reflection. Step 4, find one entrepreneurial moment per month, helping a neighbor, selling something handmade, or offering a skill. One small experience per month where they turn effort into money. 12 moments of real confidence building up. The most powerful thing you can give your child isn't a perfectly optimized allowance system. It's the belief that they can create value. That money isn't something that happens to them. It's something they can make happen. That belief, planted early, is worth more than any savings account you could open for them. The fact that you're watching this tells me you're thinking critically about what you're passing down. That is already ahead of the curve. You're not doing the default, and that matters more than any single strategy in this video. So here's my challenge. Pick one thing, just one. Add an earning opportunity to the fridge. Ask your kid what they could offer. And then come back and tell me in the comments. Do you give your child allowance? If this video shifted how you're thinking, hit that like button. It helps other parents find this content when they need it most. I made a video specifically on the 3-jar system. I'll link it right here. It's the natural next step after everything we talked about today. You've got this, and so do your kids. See you in the next one.